Hello, my friends. I am back in front of you with another video. And I will once again talk about the border crisis, the surge of migrants, and how those problems are impacting our country. Now, the children, I believe, the children are a group that is perhaps most adversely affected because of the border crisis. And let me explain how. First of all, we can see that in New York City, because of the surge in the number of migrants, and that's also because New York City is a sanctuary city, because of a surge of migrants, American taxpayer resources, are being spent on migrant housing and providing food for the migrants and medical care and other services. As a result of that, because of the fact that American taxpayer resources are being used up to address the surge in the number of migrants in New York City, the city is looking at budget cuts. Now, budget cuts will lead to a lot of problems. There will be cuts in the education sector, there will be cuts in the public safety sector, and so on and so forth. What's going to happen is that because of the budget cuts, resources in the education sector will be limited, which means that the schools will be adversely impacted, which means that the children will be adversely impacted. And also, library hours will be reduced. And I think this is going to hurt the children in New York City. Why? Because libraries are a tremendous resource for the younger generation. The children can spend time in libraries, spend time in educational activities, spend time doing things that will lead to their proper development, emotional development, educational development. And so when library hours are reduced because of budget cuts, when education sector is hurt by the budget cuts, then the children are impacted. And also, think about the adults, the adult American citizens who are suffering because of the migrant crisis. On one hand, inflation is hurting American families, and on the other hand, limited taxpayer resources are being spent on foreign nationals who have crossed the southern border illegally to enter the United States. And so when American adults are hurt, that will also impact their children. Look at the family as a unit. The parents go out, they work hard, they earn a living. Sometimes they have to work multiple jobs in order to make ends meet. And after they do that, it is their goal to provide for their children so that the children can have a decent life. They can go to a nice school, they can go to nice libraries, they can have the recreational opportunities that they need, that they can develop their extracurricular skills, and so on and so forth. But if the adults are struggling because of inflation, and also because their hard-earned taxpayer dollars are being taken away by the government and being spent on the migrants, if the American citizens, the adult American citizens, are struggling, how are they going to be able to provide for their children? And now we are seeing cuts in the education sector, library hours being reduced, all because of the border crisis, all because American taxpayer dollars are being spent on the migrants. So that's hurting American children. And I can go on and on and on, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Now, let me talk about the children of the migrants. The migrants, undocumented immigrants who are here in the United States, and it's estimated that since 2021, approximately 6 million, maybe more, foreign nationals have crossed the southern border to enter the United States. Now that they are here in places like New York and Chicago, we see images of how the migrants are sleeping on the floor, they are living in tents, and they don't have stable housing, obviously because American taxpayer resources are limited, as I mentioned. And I personally believe that American resources should be spent on American citizens first. Okay, that should be the priority. But we can see that liberal politicians in places like New York and Chicago, they are spending millions and millions, and now we're talking billions of dollars on the migrants. But still, as I said, we see images of migrants and their children on the streets living in tents. So those children are also being impacted, and it's not their fault because the children, they are minor, they did not decide to cross the border to come into the US. Their parents did. Their parents, the adults, made the decision, the wrong decision, I will say, the wrong decision. Because it is a wrong decision when somebody decides to enter a foreign country without a visa, without an authorization. Because by doing that, the individual is breaking America's laws, America's immigration laws. But when the adults bring children into the country illegally, those children are also suffering as a result of the decision made by the adult undocumented immigrants. So this border crisis situation, no matter which angle, no matter from which angle you look at this, I see the children suffering. And I will say it once again, as I've said it before, it should be the priority to secure the border, to enforce our country's immigration laws, and to make sure that American taxpayer dollars are not spent on undocumented immigrants. As I have said, the priority should be Americans first, as well as legal immigrants, those who are here in this country legally. But it is clearly a violation of American immigration law for a foreign national to enter the US illegally. And I believe in law and order, and that's why I support securing the southern border and enforcing our nation's immigration laws. My friends, thank you for watching my video. I will be back again with another video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for staying connected.